Okay, everybody, I've got a treat for you today because I'm going to share with you the inside scoop on Tiny Epic Dungeons Adventures. This is the campaign version of Tiny Epic Dungeons, and you'll see that the box is actually twice as tall. So I want to show you what this looks like from the screen above. So here it is. You're going to see that, Tiny Epic Dungeons, and then you have Tiny Epic Dungeons Adventures. Yeah, it's going to be twice as tall because you're going to get 8 campaign games. Part of the story that you're going to it's essentially build throughout the entire campaign. Oh my gosh, there's a lot packed into this box. So as you might be familiar with, the original game is all about working together. This is a cooperative dungeon crawl. There is a dungeon torch map that keeps track of your time and will activate the baddies. And if you ever see the skull face, your adventure's over. Your team is KO. It's done. As you see here, it's not just going to be the 5th of your goblins. You're actually going to run into some other kinds of creatures in the Adventures game, but in this case, your 9th placed out is going to trigger that end of the game in a fail, but hopefully, as a team, you can cobble together all of your strengths and you can fight and win. So in this game, you've got adventurers, you've got your heroes. There are going to be 4 new ones, just like you get in Dungeons. This is going to give you, in this case, Tugsy Warham, a dwarf blastmaster, Commander Lena, an elf Blinkblade, Prince Orn, a human archmage, and Ava the Brave, a human explorer. Each of these heroes has start special abilities, beginning hand weapons, and the possibility to build up to some of the loot that's here for your hand items like this halberd, glaive of the dragon, bomb bag. There are also trinkets like caltrops here, gizmo of the automata, and then you also have the opportunity for chest items or those kind of like jacket vests, casing of the automata, and knight's cuirass, wings of the Pegasus. You can see that there are all those delicious loot cards. You also have some magic cards here in this. These are going to be the ones, ooh, time stop. That's like the best thing, because what if you're running out of time and you're triggering too many of the baddies? Dragon's Breath, Astral Journey, Ready Mind, Radiant Shield. These are going to be spells that players can unleash on their turn. Also, in this game, you are going to receive these exploration tokens and these markers that denote where you have unlocked doors or blown through walls to create your own passageway, because there are 4 different new items that players can carry in their backpacks. So this is your Explorer pack, and there's going to be a brand new free action called Explore, and you'll spend 4 of your energy. I always call it energy, and it's actually called Focus. It looks like energy to me, it's focus. And you are going to reveal a token from the top of the deck. So players have the room for 2 to carry. And then this is going to be what you get to use them for. Ooh, you can find a key to open an unlocked door. To open a locked door, or to disarm a trap in your room or space. Bombs allow you to bomb corridors to make a passageway or deal 2 damage to all enemies in your room. Hello. A night lamp and a fairy in a bottle give you abilities that help you with resting. When you perform a rest action, also gain 3 movement on the torch backwards, which is great. Fairy in a bottle says when you rest after being unconscious, you can perform another heroic action and a free action. So it gives you just an extra juice, like an extra pep to your step, particularly when you rest after being unconscious, which is mean you got KO'd essentially. So these are fantastic. That's a nice addition. And you will see here the familiar, once you essentially disarm a trap, you're going to put that marker on the board as well. This is going to be the track for your very first experience, and this game offers players a dungeon booklet that is spiral bound. So when you open this, you are going to set up your space with your tiles here. These are going to be your room tiles, your room cards, And you're going to set them up based on the construction of what that campaign story asks you to, but now there are going to be some new places. This is essentially where players are going to start, and you know that this is the very first scenario, which is the Adventure 1 Echoes of Ogmore, because it says so in the corner. And now you're going to be moving through a multi-stage dungeon crawl with multiple goals throughout the game. In the original game, it was more two phases or two-parter. You had Act 1, which is exploring a dungeon, looking for particular cards that allowed you to find minions. When you defeated the minions, the requisite number for the player count, you then got to move on to the big bad, which is going to be that phase 2, where you have essentially a big baddie that you're trying to fight and defeat together. In this case, you got different goals, and you may not even have a big bad in a particular chapter, but there are 8 of these in here in your little booklet. This is going to be your adventure booklet that you open up and you read. There's going to be stories, and there are going to be background and delicious text here for you to move into chapter 1, The Ruined Keep, which is part of your Adventures of Ogmore. And it tells you what you need and asks you, hey, open up envelope 1. And you're going to continue reading through the booklet when it tells you to. It says, do not open this envelope unless instructed by the adventure booklet. I'm going to do it, okay? When you open this up, it's going to give you things inside of your envelope. It's going to say what it contains, what you need to complete this. It tells you how to set up your dungeon deck on the left. Let's put this guy here, Stinky Kobolds. Yes, I'm going to put that guy right over here. And then it tells you exactly what to do, step by step, with instructions and pictures, and then it tells you what your chapter objective is and what the failure conditions are. So you're going to get these little envelopes. You're going to have the dungeon booklet with every single chapter denoted. You're going to have this really cool story and stuff. This is, get to this point. When you get this thing, don't read any further. Read once you do X or Y or Z. And so this is it. I mean, I just can't tell you how exciting this is. I love a good campaign game. I love a good dungeon crawl, and I adore a cooperative game. This offers me all of that, and it makes me want to play right away again. Now, if you are, again, familiar with Tiny Epic Dungeons, you know that the game can be challenging. It can be really hard. You can play a game and not win. You can play another game and not win. You keep playing, of course, until you get through that particular challenge. But in this case, you're playing through, and once you reach your goal and do your objective, you check the book to see what the next stage is or the next step is. So there's some excitement, there's some thrill, there's some mystery with the story and where it's taking you and your fellow players. And I think that it has just enough from the original, but then adds just another layer of fun and flavor and some brand new components that, for me, make the game better. I think that these Explore tokens exist because the game might have been just a little bit too challenging or unforgiving when players got unconscious or knocked out, when their health got down to 0. And so when you have the lantern and you have the fairy in a bottle, what that does is it kind of kickstarts the team back up again and really gets you going. There is still that kind of luck of the draw of cards when you get the balance of traps versus kobolds in this game instead of goblins. And it can be just really, really hard. But this one says that you have 9 before you go under. And there's a reason why, because they start out on the board. Instead of just revealing them, you actually have some that begin the game with you. So there is that obstacle. And the Stinky Kobolds, I will tell you right now, might become a little bit harder in that particular adventure, of course, when that is triggered. So a ton to like here with this, and still has that same dungeon crawl feel. And you get brand new heroes and several new elements that I hope will take you by surprise. Tons to like here. You gotta check it out. I've got the campaign details in the description below, so if you want to go check it out, just click on those links in the description. And I will see you later. Happy gaming, everybody. Bye.